Idaho is a desert. We don't receive the rainfall during our growing seasons like the Midwest would. Without the irrigation systems and without the reservoirs, we don't have the amount of water needed to grow our crops. Water impacts the quality of the barley when it's harvested. Without enough water, it's going to be thin. It's not going to weigh up, which is going to affect the malt that comes out of the malt plant.
The purpose of Anheuser-Busch is to bring people together for a better world. And what we do here in Idaho in our ag program helps the company accomplish those things. One example is the Watershed project that we've been involved with. The Idaho watershed is in good condition, but one thing we don't want it to become is in critical condition. So we decided to join with a couple of agencies and do some of our part to help clean up some of the streams that are running into the reservoirs and the rivers by reducing sediment.
There's a few tributaries in the reservoir that are depositing quite high amounts of sediment into the reservoir. Between these few tributaries, they're dumping around 150 tons of sediment per year per mile of stream going into the reservoir. You could deposit quite a few hundred tons of sediment per year, which the more sediment deposited into the reservoir means less water holding capacity and lower quality, as that sediment also gets pushed downstream. Without that reservoir and that holding capacity, it will affect the growing potential of 50% of our growers. Our project consists of repairing the tributary systems that are dumping water into the reservoir and filling the reservoir off the mountainside. So as the water comes into the reservoir, it cuts through the banks of the mountains, and as it cuts and rushes into the reservoir, it is picking up sediment levels due to lack of vegetation on stream banks. We are also looking at repairing some bridges that are acting as bottlenecks for the water going into the reservoir. Those bottlenecks create washouts and whirls around the banks and are ultimately destroying the banks and then carrying that sediment into the reservoir. The Idaho Watershed Project is a step in the right direction for Anheuser-Busch to accomplish its 2025 sustainability goals of smart agriculture and water sustainability.
We're trying to do our part in not only preserving the water, our watershed, but also helping the growers become more efficient in their usage and making it more economical.
Anheuser-Busch wants to support our community, wants to support our farmers. By supplying funds for this watershed project, by repairing these tributaries in the reservoir, we are ultimately supplying our farmers with the means that they need to continue to grow in their operations and supply Anheuser-Busch with the malt barley that's needed.
Anheuser-Busch is not just concerned about the water that we have today. Anheuser-Busch is looking forward years to come, not just for our needs right now, but for the needs of generations to come. And we want people to be able to enjoy our product, knowing that there's plenty of resources to produce it and that we're doing our part to keep those resources stable and sustainable.